There is an immediate serenity that is felt when we inquire into ourselves. When we use self-inquiry as a way to establish this state of meditation, which I call effortless, there is the state of serenity that we feel that we want to come back over and over again. And there are some things that gives us the impression that we are deviated from this state of serenity. So in this video, we're going to cover why it is that we feel this serenity, and also why do we feel that we get pulled out of this calm, serene, peaceful state of realizing who we are. So again, self-inquiry is simply the way in which we question, who are we really? The question always points out to our sense of being. We know that we are. That's an axiom. That's a given. It's a fact that we are. What we are is the question that is always posed and that creates numerous philosophies and models. But we're not interested in any of that. We're interested in the direct experience of being. If we know that we are, then what truly are we? We find that in this process, any answer, whether that be philosophical, theoretical, or simply an idea, what we do find in our direct experience is that it's fleeting. It's always a sort of coloring of that which we know for certain that we are, which is being. I know that I am, but whatever comes up as a definition, as an answer, is temporary. It doesn't last. Again, we're not trying to win an argument here. We're not trying to win the medal in philosophy. We don't care about that. We're only interested in that which is verifiable in our direct experience. I know that I am, and at the same time, I realize that nothing can truly define me. So I cannot know what I am. That is the first realization. Wonderful, because this is what brings a state of serenity. It is quite usual that when we feel this serenity, because of the inertia of the mind, we move back into thinking. So what does this mean? The fact that I know that I am, but I don't know what I am, and so on. That is pulling us back into the disquietude of the mind that wants to know. So we bring it back to the state of not knowing. The only question that I cannot answer is, who am I? And so as we continue this self-inquiry process in which we bring the mind to a stop, to an end, automatically, as it, in its attempt, in its effort, finds futility because it can never answer the question. And in that futility, there's a sort of collapse, a surrendering by saying, I don't know. In that state of not knowing, that is the serenity, that is the peace that we all yearn for. And again, don't feel bad that the mind is coming back online and wanting to know, wanting to see what is the benefit of this. Meditation is happening, so I should probably become better at it, and so on. Let the mind do its thing. We learn more and more from two things only. One, direct knowledge of who we are, which is not knowing through the mind, but knowing for sure that I am. No thought required. And then we also learn from thoughts appearing, trying to color us and define us as something. Why do we learn? Because we see that that's what we are not. So we always have self-knowledge by realizing what we are without thought, no definition, this unknowing, and at the same time by realizing that we are not what the thoughts are saying. That's it. It's a very simple process. What makes us feel that we're coming out of the serenity is simply the inertia or tendency to identify with thought, or to believe that thoughts are meant to give us meaning, definition, purpose in life. They're not. They're there simply to color our experience. Just like a blackboard, even though now it's a whiteboard, but whatever board we use to write on it must be blank. must be empty. And so the writing can go in. But the writing does not substitute the board, does not define the board. It's simply being written over it. Just like thoughts are being written or appearing over or inside our awareness, that which we are. That's why we call ourselves pure awareness. But even the words pure awareness may create a label that we can identify with, and the mind will try to generate that as another image, saying, I am pure awareness. It's perfectly fine that these words come up. Just like when we say, I am, I am. These are words that repeat, that point directly to what we are, but eventually they need to dissolve as well. They all dissolve. It is what they're pointing at that is important. Almost like if I write on the board, I am the board. I am the blank behind this color, right? It's not about the writing itself. Once I write it, if the message gets through, I can erase it, and then you can see the board. Exactly that is what we're doing here. Self-inquiry is supposed to ask the question, what is this board? If we write on top of it. And to see the board, we need to clear fully that question. It cannot remain there, although it's a great pointer, as opposed to saying, this board is outside. Look somewhere else to see the board. That would be a wrong message. It's pointing in no direction actually, because there's nothing else but the board. Just like there's nothing else but awareness of thought, of definitions. Notice it. Is there anything that it is known by other than you? Is there anything that could be known by other than you in your experience? No. Everything you know it. You know it because by virtue of being is knowing. That's why when we allow self-inquiry to sink and be that simple being, that so-called pure awareness, then knowing that we know is pure knowledge, is simply knowing that we know, not knowing anything in particular. It's the blank board where everything else is written. So again, don't feel bad. Don't feel that you're doing anything wrong, and actually substitute the feeling of doing something wrong by realizing that when you're pulled into your thoughts again, that's a great opportunity that is being presented, because it's another opportunity to realize I am not that. That's just appearing in me. And the content of it is totally irrelevant, whether it be I am a separate being or I am God. Whatever it is just writing on the board and watch it dissipate. Be more interested in that which remains. Everything that is written in awareness is a way and an opportunity to see what is this awareness that knows those words, that knows those thoughts. Don't try to make this into a complex exercise, not even an activity. Make it a simple realization. Just like when you wake up, you don't have to activate or action on waking up. Waking up is itself a happening. And when you become aware of your being, it should be the same realization. No effort required. The presence of any effort is simply the activity of the mind. Watch it as inertia or happening in the mind, but not you. You are not actioning that. You're not doing that. It's happening. You don't have to do anything to be. You already are by virtue of being. And everything else is just coloring that experience. So take this in consideration when you sit in meditation. So you don't make meditation an activity. Remove any idea that meditation is an activity and see meditation simply as a byproduct of self-knowledge, knowing yourself in the moment, which means I can have zero thoughts and I simply am, and I can have thoughts which reflect that I'm not that, but I am the awareness of the thoughts. I'm not against the thoughts or the emotions. I'm simply interested and curious about me being me and letting the mind be the mind. That's it for this video. I hope this is helpful to you. If you do want to inquire further and deepen your practice, there's a free community that I host in school. In the description, you can always find the link to join us. Again, for free, there is a course there where you can deepen your understanding of this practice, which is a simple, effortless understanding that goes through self-inquiry. And you can join the community in our free calls to join in the calls where we meditate together, we discuss these topics, and we answer all your questions. I hope to see you there. Hope to see you in the comments as well. If you have any other question, I'm here for that as well. And I'll see you in the next video.